All right, falafel review. We're at Chickpea in Penn Station. Built in the 1960s, Penn Station. The tragedy that tore down the old Penn Station, the lovely Beaux Arts building. Chickpea, pretty good falafel franchise. So let's see how the falafel sandwich is. All right, now we're at the new Penn Station. We've migrated from the old dusty dungeon across 8th Avenue that way, through the underground, into the new Moynihan Train Station. Opened January 2021. This project has been a long time in the making. The skylight evokes the old Penn Station, which was torn down to build the dusty dungeon. So a really beautiful space. Station is named after the late Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan. Senator Moynihan had a long, storied career, most known for being a New York senator, long time, since the 1960s up until 2001, when finally he was replaced by Hillary Clinton until the time she served as Secretary of State. Mr. Moynihan grew up in Indiana. He was part of a large Irish Catholic family, and when he was 6 years old, his family moved over to the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood, which is that way. He worked as a longshoreman in New York City's docks, down that way on the Hudson River. He attended the City College in New York when it was still free. So he continued his education to the London School of Economics, where he graduated with a degree in history. He served under President Kennedy, where one of his signature achievements was guiding principles on federal architecture. The most controversial aspect of his career was working under Lyndon Johnson's War on Poverty. He wrote the Moynihan Report, which alluded to the idea that certain groups were more dependent on welfare than others. This ultimately led to legislation where mothers were entitled to welfare so long as one father was out of the family. It was controversial. It was seen as an incentive for getting rid of the father and creating single mother households. And 30 years later, he admitted to such. In 1994, after the Republicans swept Congress, he admitted there was a hell of a problem. He would go on to serve under Nixon, taking various federal posts and ambassadorships, and ultimately ran for New York State Senator in the 1960s, which he would serve until 2001, and he would die in 2003. All right, so this is Chickpea and Grand Central Station across the street. Let's see how it is. Here's the first view. Looks pretty good, well sauced. Some good cabbage, pickles, cucumbers. First bite in, kind of good. Well balanced with the toppings. I like the wrap. Hummus is good. Falafel's a little dry. Not the tastiest falafel. A few bites in, more of the same. Tasty. Falafel's not the best. Toppings are pretty much what they are. They're good. All right, final bite, final verdict. This is overall pretty tasty. Good grab and go lunch place, especially if you work in the area. Costs about $10.50, so it's not really the best price point for a falafel sandwich. It's pretty tasty. The toppings are good. Falafel's really not the best. I do like the wrap. This is 7.5.